In 1814 we took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. We took a little bacon and we took a little beans and we caught the bloody British
here.
in a town in
Hey, this is PrinceuvSelucids, and I am here at the Castillo de San Marcos, the oldest stone structure in North America. It's beautiful here, beautiful day, and yeah, awesome fort. And hopefully we'll get the tour and I will show you everything. It was built by the Spanish, and I'll give you more information on the tour, or during our tour, and if not, I'll give you information as we take a circumnavigate the thing. So I will talk to you guys in a minute. This fort, this Castillo de San Marcos, is built out of a native rock called coquina. Here's a close-up view, and you can see all the little shells in it. And actually, we're not allowed to touch it because the oils in our hands will corrode it over time. But we're sitting here outside the dry moat, and you can see the white on the walls. That's plaster. The fort was originally painted a bright white color with plaster, and the towers on each corner were painted red with actually Georgia clay. Very interesting. Also, you can see where the walls have cracked a bit. It's Hollywood during the 1920s, I think, filled in the moat to make a movie, and that wasn't its intended purpose.
No, she's not.
So,
No, ma'am.
and so the walls cracked, and efforts to fix the cracks have only been partially successful. So, yeah, and most of the cannons on the walls are 6-pounders. And that's the entrance down there. And, yeah, and it's built right here by the ocean. So when we go in, I will update this. Hey guys, inside the fort here, just entered into the outer moat area. And that is a replica right here of the original coat of arms that hangs over the door, over there. The Spanish coat of arms. And it's been there to this day. And this fort has been besieged several times by various enemies, including, I think the British were the most, they besieged the fort twice. And, yes, and there's the entrance to the fort and the dry moat, emphasis on dry here, and the inner and outer moats. Hey guys, inside the fort now, this is the officers' quarters, and they would learn to write by scratching stuff into the walls, letters and stuff. So these are hundreds of years old, these drawings. No, they're not quite as interesting as, like, say, cave drawings, but they're still definitely interesting. You can see all the different marks that people made in the walls. It's pretty cool. It's you can see all the just different writing and stuff, particularly like up here, but that's not the coolest part. Coolest part are these giant ships people carved into the walls. And apparently it was either Spanish soldiers drawing British ships that they saw in battle, or British drawing their own ships. And then later, apparently, an American added an American flag over one of these ships, although I have yet to find it. But yeah, you can see it's awesome. And up here, another ship, very cool also. But yeah, awesome. And also a solitary confinement prison, but that's not nearly as interesting. Here's the barrack. This is the barracks of the typical Spanish and or British soldier. The roof is vaulted, and they have a window. This is actually below ground mostly. There's a fireplace in the corner, not that you would need it. This is Florida. And yeah, so this would have been your typical living conditions as a Spanish soldier. And the only requirement you had to meet to be a Spanish soldier was to have 3 good teeth to pull open caps and put gunpowder in your gun. So yeah, more as things progress.
Park visitors, the 3 o'clock ranger program is about to start. Downstairs in the courtyard, over by the well, in just a couple of minutes.
So here's the inside of the fort. Quite an awesome area. 2 stories. Very impressive. This is a complete view of the fort, I suppose, from a aerial standpoint. As you can see, it's a star-shaped fortress. Here's the outer little protection area. This faces, the sea is right here, along this edge. And this faces towards the town, to the, I don't know what direction that is, I guess. But we are currently like here. And I believe this may have been the church at one time or another. But it was, and here you can see the progression of ownership. The original one there is the Spanish. Then they lost it to the British in the 7 Years' War, I believe. Then the Spanish recovered it after the American Revolution. Then it was American. Then it was Confederate. They don't have a Confederate flag there. And then it's still American today. Yes, it's a very, very cool fort. Here we have the Spanish coat of arms. She's a beauty right there. Look at that. It's beautiful. And that would have hung above the door where that fake one was. But it's awesome. Beautiful. And here's coquina. This is the stuff they used to build the fort. Like I said, it's made of tiny shells packed together. And the combination was almost like palmetto wood, if you know your Civil War history. There was a fort in South Carolina. Don't remember the name. But the Confederates, I believe, shelled it. And because it was made with palm wood, the cannibals stuck in it. And the same thing happened with the coquina. And every day, the British, when they invaded, would bombard the fort from the sea back with cannons. And at night, when they had to cease their firing, the Spanish would climb onto the walls, remove the cannonballs, fill in the holes, and replaster the walls. And that, and when the British saw it in the morning, they almost believed that the fort was indestructible. Just a bit of history. This here is the old powder room. It was used until it was deemed too damp. And it was then it was used as a trash room sealed. And 100 years later, it was reopened. And a lot of local myths about people being buried alive sprung up from these bodies. So, in just a minute, just a minute, we will go into this secret room here. And I believe I forget what this room was used for off the top of my head. I took the actual tour of this fortress a little over a year ago. I don't remember the specifics of this room, but all I know is that it's a secret room and it stored something. That's pretty much the extent of my knowledge about this room. So I'll keep recording probably when I go to the roof. I'm going to go up on the roof of the fort, and we're going to take a look at some of the cannons and the viewpoint and the towers and stuff.